he said, all right. The next match I had, the world champion, the All Japan champion Sakaguchi against Geesink, the world champion. The world Olympic champion. Anton Geesink won 1961 in Paris. He won again 1964 in Tokyo.
And you ref that match.
I ref that first match.
Yep.
It was a preliminary match between the All Japan champion and Geesink. And Geesink beat Sakaguchi.
Yeah.
It was no score as I remember, but he dominated him and he won. So I gave, of course, Geesink. And then the whole heavyweight division went along, and then came the finals. And I'm sitting on the edge, waiting, and the announcer says, the finals of the heavyweight division, Geesink, Netherlands, contra, against, Matsunaga, Japan, arbitre, Porter, USA, Juge, Rosin, France, Shang, China. I couldn't believe it. They were putting me up for refereeing the finals in the World Championship.
Yeah.
So I went to Yap Nowlers. I said, Yap, did I hear this right? He said, hey, Phil, yes, go up. Because we had to climb up the stairs.
Wow.
Because the mats were up on the...
Yeah.
So it was not so much. I was very intent, or let's say determined, to not let the players run the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went outside and I called mate, I wanted them to break. I wanted to keep the thing fair. I wanted to keep it, if I could, to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And Geesink, of course, was a great gentleman and still is. Geesink, before he won the World Championship in 1961 in Paris, and the Olympic gold medal in the open class in 1964 in Tokyo, he won the European tooth category, all open, all champ. Tooth category means all categories, all classes. He won that championship in Europe 18 times. 18
Jeez.
times. It's an unbelievable achievement.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very proud because he used to say, in all this time, I never injured another player. He was proud of that. Well, so I climbed up on the stage. I was very determined to keep the thing clean. Matsunaga of Japan, who had a very good standing arm lock, and Geesink of the Netherlands. And it was a great deal of action in the contest. They were attacking, but there was no scores on either side. But Matsunaga kept running out.
Oh.
In those days, there was a 30 by 30 foot contest area
Mm-hmm.
with a drop of about 6 or 8 inches, and then a safety area.
Mm-hmm.
The drop was I suppose, intended to keep people inside. But Matsunaga kept stepping out, and when, of course, the rules say when you step out, mate, stop. So I kept stopping, and it was just a contest where Matsunaga was running out. So one of those times when Matsunaga ran out, Geesink swept him and threw him for a ippon outside. But I called nothing because Matsunaga was outside. It's no score.
Wow.
But then I said, no, we must stop this. So they were fixing their judo gi.
Yep.
I went to the 2 judges. Now you understand that you had penalties. It's different now. In those days there were penalties. Chuikai, first penalty. I think it's chui now. And then chunikai, which was a serious penalty. Now it's keikoku. I'm not sure. But anyway, I wanted to give the first penalty to Matsunaga if he stepped out again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't need a vote of the referees. You don't need, as a referee, now, at least now it used to be, you don't need a vote of the referees to give the simplest penalty. You just give it. Nevertheless, I wanted to be sure. So while they were fixing their gi, after Geesink 2 Matsunaga outside, I went to Rosanne, a friend, and one of the judges, and I said, next time Matsunaga steps out, Chuikai, yes or no? She said, yes. I went to the other judge, I think it was Chang or Huang of China. I said, next time Matsunaga steps out, Chuikai said no. So it was 1-1. I could throw it either way I wanted, two against one. So by golly, they got fighting again, and Matsunaga stepped out again, stopped, and I said, Chuikai, penalty. And the match ended soon, and Geesink won. He should have won. He dominated the match. But the Japanese were a little bit upset about that, understandably. And the next day, the chief of the mission, chef de mission in France, the chief of the mission of the Japanese team, he's above the coach, he's in charge of the whole team, above the coach, above all the players. I'm trying to think of his name. I think it was a ninth dan named Hamano. Hamano, yes. Now, Hamano was 9 dan. And I was what? 65 was 4th dan, fighting 4th dan. Well, I was the qualified referee. What the hell does rank matter if a referee is either qualified or is not? Some of them don't even have rank. So the next day, Hamano came up to me, the chief of the mission of the Japanese team, questioning an international referee. Now this is unheard of. You know this. The Super Bowl goes, and the referee makes a call. Does the owner of the Steelers come up to the referee afterward and yell at him and say, why did you make this call? No, you don't do that. So Hamano came up to me and said, why did you give Matsunaga a penalty? And he's talking to a major in the United States Air Force. I wanted to say, who won the war? But I didn't say that. I said to the young Brazilian Japanese who was translating for us, I said, I want you to tell Hamano Sensei exactly what I say. Because the translators like to soften things and change things. I wanted to tell him exactly what I said. I said, do you understand that? I want you to tell him exactly what I say. And he was scared. He said, yes, young fellow. It was fun because I decided to stretch Hamano out a little bit and take a few minutes of his time to explain what was going on, to play Japanese politics with him, if you will. So I said, please tell Hamano Sensei, we once had a world championship of boxing in the United States. Tell him that. And he did. And Joe Louis was fighting Jersey Joe Walcott. And this was in the early 60s, late 50s. Tell him that. He did. He said, and Walcott knocked Louis down in the first round. Tell him that. He told him. And then Walcott ran away for 15 rounds. And Joe Louis didn't score any knockdowns, but he beat the hell out of Walcott for 15 rounds. Tell him that. He told him. And then the officials of boxing went up to the referee who gave it to Joe Louis. And they said, "Why did you give it to Joe Louis?" And I said, "Tell him that." He did. I said, and the referee said, I gave it to Louis because you don't win the championship of the world running away. And Amano just gritted his teeth and went away. But it was true.
Yeah.
It was so simple. Matsunaga just ran away for the whole match.
And you reffed that Geesink?
Finals of the World Championship of 1965 in Rio, yeah.
In Rio?
In Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil.
Wow. That is incredible.
Yeah, a lot of the refereeing things were funny because later on in 1971 or 72, I think it was 71, I was a coach of the American SISM team. Now the SISM is an interesting thing. It's